Corruption doesn't just happen overnight in Washington. It takes years of lying, backstabbing, and hanging out with some of the shadiest people in town. And if you have your eyes set on gold, like the White House, that's just the bare minimum. But don't take our word for it. Listen to what a young senator out of Delaware had to say in the early 1970s.
Well, I'm not sure you should assume I'm not corrupt, but thank you for that, though. The system does produce corruption, and I think implicit in the system is corruption, when in fact, whether or not you can run for public office, and it costs a great deal of money to run for the United States Senate, even from a small state like Delaware, you have to go to those people who have money, and they always want something.
And almost 5 decades later, that young senator went on to become the most powerful man in Washington. And he may as well be the most corrupt, too. Because if your last name is Biden, you learn a thing or two about corruption growing up, especially when you're the son of the sleaziest used car salesman in Scranton and your dad was cashing in side checks from the most corrupt union group in the state. The Biden household has always been about making a quick buck. Over the years, as power grew, so did the money. It really all kicked off in 2013, when the Biden family business picked up steam after Vice President Biden boarded on to Air Force Two, destined for Beijing, China. Alongside him was the smartest man he knew, his son, Hunter, who was on the trip strictly for business that day. He was about to start up the Biden family global affair. And what better time to launch it than when you have the Vice President of the United States ready at your disposal? Hunter, being the opportunist that he is, set up an introduction between his dad, the Vice President, and a shady Chinese businessman named Jonathan Lee in a Chinese hotel lobby. That meeting was as sweet as apple pie. The two shook hands, and it was later described as a good social meeting. And the reward was even better. Just like that, the Biden family was offered a $20 million fortune 10 years later. A full 10% stake in a Chinese finance company directly backed by the Communist Party. And to sweeten the deal, Hunter got to sit on their board and play businessman. But the best part of it, the Bidens finally had some street cred in China. No better time to milk dirty Chinese money than when Joe had some bills to pay and Hunter had a crack addiction to fund. So in 2015, the Bidens began cashing in checks from a giant Chinese energy conglomerate that serves as the arm of the Communist Party's Belt and Road Initiative, a direct national security threat to the United States. It wasn't just Hunter. Even Joe's own brother, Jim, got involved. The two of them raked in almost $5 million from these Chinese oligarchs, most of it from consulting fees. It didn't take a genius to realize these guys reeked of corruption. One of the company's top dogs, a guy by the name of Patrick Ho, was put under FISA surveillance by the United States intelligence arm for bribing African leaders and helping Iran evade U.S. sanctions. Seriously. But Hunter actually saw some more dollar signs out of it. He flaunted his Yale law degree and somehow got the Chinese to pay $1 million for his legal services. They even gave him a 3-carat diamond. Big rock. Now, the guy ended up in jail because, well, Hunter's no criminal attorney. They didn't know that, but hey, Hunter got a quick million. That's what Bidens do. The Biden family business was booming in China, and Joe couldn't help but get directly involved. When scheming up a joint Chinese company, emails show they were openly talking about cutting 10% of the deal for the big guy. If there was ever any doubt as to who the big guy is, Hunter's former business partner, Tony Bobulinski, made it clear for us.
It has 10% for the big guy held by H. I 1,000% sit here and know that the big guy is referencing Joe Biden. That's crystal clear to me because I lived it. I met with the former vice president in person multiple times.
Joe told us he never once talked to his son about his deals. Well, I guess he's just a lying dog-faced pony soldier then. He was actually bankrolling cash from China, all while he was VP. Guess it paid off. The Bidens earned at least $31 million in Chinese money. And soon enough, the Biden family business expanded all over the globe. Hunter was reeling in clients and Joe was closing deals with one-on-one meetings. Obviously, Hunter didn't read The Art of the Deal, but he did know that meeting the vice president went a long way for these guys. So he was setting up meetings between his dad and sketchy foreigners, right in Washington at the glorious Cafe Milano. Like meeting some sketchy businessmen from Kazakhstan. There's even pictures of it. Or meeting the wife of a Russian oligarch right before she handed the Biden family a $3.5 million paycheck. And probably the best deal of them all, when Joe met an executive from a Ukrainian energy company called Burisma. We know this because he wrote Hunter an email saying, "Thank you for inviting me to D.C. to meet and spend some time with your father." And guess what? At the time, Burisma was paying Hunter up to $83,000 a month just to sit on the board. And when the owner of Burisma got wrapped up in a federal investigation in Ukraine, the case was quietly dropped around the same time Joe was demanding it be dismissed. What did Biden have to do with the Ukrainian energy corruption case? Well, now we know. You see, corruption in Washington goes a long way. A lot of money flows in if you just meet the shadiest people you could find. Around the globe, there's always a sketchy billionaire who wants to blow money on the most powerful family in Washington. And if you're a Biden, you do what Bidens do best. You take the bait and rake in that pretty penny. Or better yet, you take in millions of dollars and you don't ever look back.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.